Good morning. I'm John Henson, pastor of Church for the Highlands. We are gathered here as the faith community of Interfaith to stand with our Jewish sisters and brothers and to condemn the acts of violence perpetrated over this past week. The killing of an African-American man and woman shopping at Kroger this past week in Kentucky, the pipe bombs sent to prominent Americans and to CNN, and most horrifically, the murders of 11 innocents at the Jewish synagogue in Pittsburgh on Saturday. Our hearts are heavy, and we stand with our local Jewish family in mourning these deaths. As Dr. King said, a threat to justice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So we stand here today to actively fight against this threat.
George Feinberg, age 75.
Richard Godfrey, age 65.
Rose Mallinger, age 97.
Jerry Rabinowitz, age 66.
Cecil and David Rosenthal, ages 59 and 54.
Bernice and Sylvie Sitton, 84 and 86.
Daniel Stein, age 71.
Melvin Wax, age 88.
Irving Younger, age 69.
Maurice Stoller, age 69. And Vicki Jones, age 67.
We also want to introduce who we are, as we truly are an interfaith group. We want to share with you which organizations or congregations we represent here today, and we'll begin down on the end.
Allison Washington, Interfaith.
Lois Scheid, League of Women Voters.
Chris Curry, First Presbyterian Church.
Nettie Brown, Our Lady of the Blessed Sacrament Catholic Church and the League of Women Voters.
Willie Myers, Mount Canaan Baptist Church.
Robert Handy, Mount Canaan Baptist Church.
Bob Jordan, All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church.
Susan Banninger, All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church and the League of Women Voters.
Maxine Davis, Stonewall Baptist Church, Bossier City.
Little Union Baptist Church, Freeport, Louisiana.
John Henson, Church for the Highlands.
Harry Cooper Jr., pastor of Hollywood Presbyterian Church.
Cantor Neil Schwartz, spiritual leader of Congregation Agudath Achim.
Wanda Easter, Paradise Baptist Church.
Susan Caldwell, religious educator at All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church.
Bobby Edwards, Morning Star Missionary Baptist Church. Reverend Theron Jackson, pastor.
Chris Hine, vicar of St. Matthias Episcopal Church, Shreveport.
Reverend Matt Rawl, Asbury United Methodist Church in Bossier City, Louisiana.
Theron Jackson, Morning Star Missionary Baptist Church, Shreveport.
Bethany Sorky, a member of the Zion Congregation and director of the Jewish Federation of North Louisiana.
Again, I am Pastor Harry Cooper, Hollywood Presbyterian Church. For as much as we are in opposition of violence, we are even more so speaking out for peace, believing that we are called to do justice, to love mercy, and to walk humbly, and acknowledging that whatever we feed grows. So today we stand for feeding love. We stand for feeding peace. We stand for feeding hope, giving food and nourishment for tolerance, food and nourishment for acceptance, acknowledging that different does not mean deficient. And in this way, we will be able to build bridges and not walls over the barriers that keep us apart.
Cantor Neil Schwartz, spiritual leader of Congregation Agudath Achim. This event happened because of hating the other, as has every hate crime. The only antidote for hating the other is to simply stop saying hateful words. America is supposed to stand for freedom and equality for everyone, but that seems to be changing somewhat now. We cannot have freedom and equality for everyone if some of us are the other, and if some citizens hate whole groups of other citizens. Unless an American is descended only from Native Americans, every one of us has immigrant ancestors. Those who hate various groups of fellow Americans are themselves descended from ancestors who came here from somewhere else. Rabbi Jeff Myers in Pittsburgh is a good friend. In his speech to his congregation and community, he said something that should sound familiar to every person. Quote, "My mother always said, if you don't have something good to say, say nothing." Yes, this is hard to do. We are all human. However, the cost of hate speech is that it leads to hateful actions. And we are seeing these consequences more often. We must live together without hate, because hate leads to wars and genocides. The world has seen enough of both. We do not need that as our legacy for our children and grandchildren. The only solution is to stop teaching hate and to stop saying hateful words. Then we can get about the work of helping make the whole world a better place.
Good morning. I am Susan Caldwell, Director of Religious Education at All Souls Unitarian Universalist Church. In my faith tradition, we covenant to affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every person and our connection to each other and to all life in the interdependent web of all existence. Therefore, a rip in the web affects us all, and white supremacist terrorism is a horrendous rip in the web. What happens to one of us happens to all of us, and that us includes everyone.
Good morning. My name is Bobby Edwards. I'm a former Vietnam veteran of the United States Air Force and a retired aerospace engineer. With all the military wars we have, they are not fighting for hate, but for money and democratic gains. Here we are in our everyday lives, fighting a war for survival because of hateful and violent acts. The evil lives in the dark and comes out in the light to wreak havoc among a peaceful community. As I mentioned about war, we all come from different backgrounds. As of today, we are all from different backgrounds with common goals. This will defeat violence no matter how long it takes. Good always overcome evil. And may God bless America.
Hello, I am Chris Hying. I'm the vicar of St. Matthias Episcopal Church in Shreveport. I've come today to stand together with those whose lives were threatened because of their politics or because they exercised their First Amendment rights in the free press. They come to pray together for those who lost their lives because they were African American or they were Jewish. We're greatly saddened, but as others have said today, we come because we love one another And I come deeply humbled by the testimony of the Tree of Life congregation in Pittsburgh, that in the midst of unspeakable loss, their focus continued to be on the welcome of the stranger, the welcome of the refugee. And I give thanks for that witness.
Reverend Matt Rawle, lead pastor at Asbury United Methodist Church, to offer a poem titled, Yet. I am not a victim of gun violence, yet. When the day arrives for if no longer speaks, I will trust in the story violence seeks to cease. I've spoken my piece. From pulpits with pleadings, past dismissive steers, but I refuse a retreating. I will stand in my place, both feet rooted firm in the one foundation Christ died to confirm. Tell my wife I love her, hoping my children will heal, unless it is their life a madman chooses to steal. I am not a victim of gun violence, yet.
Theron Jackson from Morning Star Missionary Baptist Church here in Shreveport. We come today, as you see, a couple of dozen, if you will, of us, to be a voice for the 13 who can no longer speak for themselves. It's in the spirit of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. that I'm reminded that the challenge he says to us is that I'm afraid we're going to have to apologize, not for the vitriolic and evil words of the mean people, but for the appalling silence of the good people. The idea is that silence is a form of violence. We're here today to speak up because, as has already been stated by Pastor Henson, injustice in one place is bad for justice in any other place. So we stand today together, unified as one voice, and we remember what the German pastor Martin Niemöller said, that when first they came for the socialists, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't a socialist. Then they came for the unionists, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I said nothing because I wasn't Jewish. And finally they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. We speak today because others cannot, but it is violence for us to be silent. So we ask you to join us in speaking up as well. Shalom.
I'm Bethany Sorky, a member of B'nai Zion Congregation in Shreveport and the director of the Jewish Federation of North Louisiana, and I have this to offer from a Jewish book of prayer. Beyond the injustice of our time, its cruelty and its wars, we look forward to a world at peace where people deal kindly with one another and no one is afraid. Every bad deed delays its coming, every good deed brings it nearer. May our lives be lived in such a way that future generations bless us. Help us to pray for it, to wait for it, to work for it, and to be worthy of it.
Amen.
Again, we thank you for coming today, and this is a great opportunity for us to leave from this place sharing the love that we have for each other, but also the love that we have for the world and the love that we hope to see in the world as we learn to move past hatred and violence to a loving community, much in the way Dr. King stressed as the beloved community. Thank you.